How you going, guys? Steve here from Australian 4x4 Adventures, and some of you might have spotted that in the background. So, here to do the big car reveal. So I'm actually at Dynamotive in Bayswater. Some of you are already frothing, oh, you bought a 300! And that may be the case. And by the end of this video, you'll know. So what I'm doing though is there's actually two cars that it was between. So, Dynamotive have the 300 series, of course. And right across the road up there, EC Off-Road have a Y62. So the choices were between a 300 and a 62. And rather than just tell you what I bought, I'm actually just gonna go through the reasonings and the differences between the two cars. And at the end, I'll let you know what I bought, because the reasonings and the differences will be the reason why I bought the car. So, you know, that's part of it. We're going to have a look at the 300 series first. So this would be the model. I have to be careful not to give stuff away here. If I was to buy a 300 series, this would be the model I'd want. It's the Sahara ZX, so it's the top of the range. It's absolutely mint. Seriously, it's beautiful in there. So I say we have a quick look around this one. Go for a bit of a test drive, get some thoughts, get some opinions, and we'll do the same for the 62 and see how we go. Okay, so sitting in Paul's own 300 series now. So Paul owns, well, one of the owners of Dynamotive down here. ZX Sahara 300 series, sitting inside it. It is comfy. Whoa. So like the seats just hug you nicely. The center console is nice and high, so you feel like you're in like this nice little cockpit of just absolute luxury. I love the interior, like just, it's, oh my god, I can't buy this one. Yeah, right. Looking out over the bonnet, it looks massive. Like that is just a long bonnet. It just keeps going. Like it's just, it's there. So it's very, very long on the front end there, which I find a little bit odd considering the 200s were never that long in the bonnet side of it. Center console, obviously, this isn't a review video, but obviously everything opens up both sides, everything there. Got rid of that really super crappy wood grain that was always in the 200s, and definitely the crappy one that's in the 62. That's nice. It's like a nice embossed feeling, so it feels nice. Everything's very tactile. It's nice to press. Everything just feels solid and nice, like your typical Toyota refinement. Like everything's just nice about it. That's it, video's done. Buying this one. Alright, how about we go for a bit of a drive, see what they feel like, and then maybe we'll look at a couple of other, maybe some negatives of this car. Right. All the features in this thing, so everything is done on the main head unit there, which is massive, easy to see, easy to read. As I was saying, like this thing just feels, oh, I didn't even know it had a heads-up display. Oh, and it's a nice neat one too. It's not like your tacky add-on ones. Ah, oh my god. Damn it. Alright, cool. We're sold. Maybe Paul will take an offer for this one. Alright, so let's see. Where are we at for? Oh yes! Alright. It's got a little bit of power. So granted, this is tuned up from Dynamotive, so it's all spec'd up. I think it's pushing out like 210 kilowatts at the wheels. It's got a fair bit of go-go berries to it. It's nice. Oh, how does it even know the speed limit? I want to see if I can get a shot of this. I don't know if you guys can see that heads-up display or not. That is cool. So it's in like a perfect spot. I like it. I'm gonna say it. I don't like the mirrors. They're in a weird spot, like because they're down on the door. They're down super low, and they're actually fairly close to you as a driver. So you feel like you're almost like leaning back to get a proper angle on it, which seems odd, I know. But yeah, no. So that's probably not one of my favourite aspects of the car, but it is what it is. This is going to sound like a really pathetic thing to pick on. That indicator noise is actually really annoying. it's like you get good clicks and you get bad clicks. It sounds really pathetic when I say it, but that's a bad, annoying indicator click. It's just, I'm being super picky here. Like, honestly, if that's the worst thing that goes on, seriously, that's nothing. Alright, nearly back at Dynamotive. We'll park her up, and I will go through some of the negatives that I've found with this car. Oh, hello, Eleanor. Alright, so that's the test drive done. It drives nice. Obviously, granted, this one's tuned up, so it's got a fair bit of power. It's nice. So if you've got a 300 series and you want to get it tuned up to drive, absolutely mint. Come see the boys down here at Dynamotive. I'll sort you out, for sure. And obviously, big, massive thanks to these guys for letting me drive this around for now. Obviously, mine hasn't arrived just yet, so it's good, it's good. All right, negatives. So this isn't necessarily a negative, but it's not the positive that I bought the 200 for. So the rear tailgate has obviously gone to, as soon as I can figure out how to open it, one big lift-up door as opposed to the split door. So the main reason why I bought a 200 initially over a 62, because they were around at the time, was the big lift-up doors don't give you that split tailgate, of course, and give you that surface and built-in bench in for touring setup. So it means I have to carry a table now, or it has to be integrated into the drawers no matter what, because it's just a big lift-up door. So that sort of puts it in the same realm as the 62s now for how they work. Overall boot space in the back, it's pretty big. Size for size, the 62 is slightly bigger for overall space, so can't really say much about that. Other massive negative, obviously you guys probably know by now, I've got my little girl now, so I've got two kids. I've got Toby, who's just over 2, and Piper, who's 8 weeks old almost, actually 8 weeks old tomorrow. So yeah, 2 kids. Sleep. I'm running on coffee. All right, back seats here. We're looking here. It's kind of handy that Paul's got 2 kids as well. The space in here, like, that is, like that's just over a fist width wide from there to there. That is absolutely pathetic. Granted, that seat probably needs to go forward maybe. I'll call it 2 inches the absolute most, because it did move back a little bit when I got out, so I had it slightly further forward as my seating position. I did feel a little bit cramped up, so I probably could have it back a little bit further for longer trips. I probably would, but that's sort of one thing. Other side, obviously that's still a forward facing seat, but it's the more conventional size as opposed to this one's just the booster seat. You can see their feet would be directly kicking the back seat and the screens. I've actually heard of someone who had the screens broken because their kid kicked it, just because that's the way they were sitting. I tried it before, not with Paul's car, a different car, having a capsule in the back seat, so a rear-facing capsule like you have to for a newborn, and up to around about, well, depending on size, but we'll call it 12 months minimum, so to say, of having a rear-facing capsule. I couldn't fit in the seat in front of it. I had to have the seat that far forward. I wouldn't fit in a passenger seat if it was on the passenger side, or I wouldn't fit in the driver's seat if it was on the driver's side. So it meant that Toby is going to be scrunched up with his feet, and whoever was in the other seat basically had no leg room left, so Piper could actually get in the car, which was a little bit frustrating. So I reckon that's less room than what the 200 had. So fit and finish though, obviously you can't beat the fit and finish of the Toyota. They're just awesome. They're pretty crappily appointed. Like, considering this is the first car with Apple CarPlay, it's kind of a bit crap. But anyway, but everything feels super nice, and it's one of those cars you just know is going to last. It's good. I'm not going to get into the rights and wrongs of the suspension setups and everything else. That's just the car. You can't really change that. We can, but it's not something I'm considering at this second. Other thing to consider, obviously, because I go bush, run bush barriers a fair bit, my magnetic base, ooh, it does stick to it. I thought these things are aluminium. Wait. Ah, the doors are aluminium. Look at that. So that doesn't stick to any of that. None of that. None of that. But the rear quarter is metal. Alright, that one caught me off guard. I didn't even know that. Alright, that's something different. How's that? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Something different. So keep in mind that obviously it means that bush barriers aren't going to stick to this. Having said that, I know they're working on something that is probably going to be pretty cool, and for the lack of better terms, and I really hate when people say it's going to be game changing. Idiots. Anyway, I hate that word, game changing. So that's my thoughts on the 300. Awesome to drive, really well appointed inside. Pretty small in the back seats though, and I've lost the advantage of the split tailgate at the back there. So that big advantage, or big reason I bought the 200 in the first place, is now kind of gone. So that sort of opens me up to, if the tailgate's not an issue, what about that thing? Don't know. Let's go have a look at that. Oh, that sun is so bright. Alright, so this isn't going to be a super fair comparison for like, because obviously that's a completely stock as a rock 300 series versus a fairly heavily modified Y62. So this is the actual EC off-road Y62 down here in Bayswater, Victoria. So obviously, if you didn't know, there's obviously a Victorian branch of EC off-road, and it's literally across the road from Dynamotive. They work together closely. They work on cars together. It's good. So this one is a TI, but it's had a couple of mods to it. Overall, I don't know how that works. So the door was meant to work then, but it didn't work. See if I can find the key. Where is the key? Alright, key. Alright, so this one's had a couple of mods to it overall. So this is the power tailgate lifter that EC Off-Road do as well. So if I was going to get a 62, it would be the TIL, because, well, I wouldn't get top of the range. Who knows? So it would come with a power lifter like this as well. It's bigger in the back there overall, and it's that one big lift up tailgate again for everything, which I'm not a massive fan of, but it is what it is. Sorry about the sun, guys. It's just one of those things I've got to deal with. Alright, let's take this thing for a bell, hey? Alright, there's a bloody start button in this thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. So he did tell me, normally they'd have a torqued exhaust on their car, but they're still waiting for this one to be built. So at the moment, it doesn't have much of an exhaust. So it's bloody loud. Obviously this is fully modified, so this one's got the EC off-road replacement dash, which is actually really similar to the 300. Same sort of widescreen look. Looks like it's easy to read. There's actually less buttons on it. I think most of this is all done on, yeah, it's all touchscreen. Oops. Oh, Britney Spears. Oh. Hey Michael, I think I found your playlist, buddy. Bit of Britney, eh? Alright. Oh, it's empty too. Bloody hell. Cool. So it's had the chrome delete, everything's blacked out and whatnot, so it's actually a much nicer interior here than what you get from factory. Usually a lot of this is all wood grain. It looks bloody horrible. I hate the wood grain in this thing. So that's a definite negative for it overall there. But yeah, it's roomy. I'll give it that. Like, seats probably don't hug you as much. This one's got the extended bloody console on it, so I can't even really compare that. Oh, turn down you. Where's the volume? Right there. Too many buttons on the steering wheel. Doesn't quite hug you as much, but they're definitely comfortable. It's not bad overall. Plenty of headroom. This one doesn't have the sunroof because it's TIL wood, so it's similar in that regard. The rear vision mirror would normally have the camera inbuilt into the TILs. Yeah. Alright. Let's do this. It's got the bloody foot brake thing, doesn't it? Alright. You know, this is actually like one of 3 times that I've ever driven a Y62. It's freaking obnoxiously loud. It's obnoxiously loud. Alright, so this one's also running 35s, 2-inch lift and bloody a whole bunch of other stuff. But this is actually their first 4.5 ton GVM upgrade, SSM, so second stage manufacturing. So it's federally approved, and I don't even know what that is. I think that's low fuel, maybe? Yeah, low fuel, yeah. And an actual GCM upgrade. You can argue whatever you want whether that's legal or not, but it's on the placard. Alright, that's obnoxiously loud. That's pretty cool, actually. I like it. So we're averaging 23.1 litres per 100. So we're averaging fun, apparently, which is kind of cool. I think I just need to warm the car up a little bit. Now I'm giving it a boot full. See, there that? Alright, so going back to really small things, that indicator is not, it's like a little bip. I'm going to say the 300's got more power, but it's also running 31-inch tyres as opposed to the 35 muddies that are on this, and that probably wasn't full power and it's not quite up to full temperature yet. The sound is cool though. Like, no, I was saying about obviously the 300 being noisy for engine noise and stuff. Yep, well you can't. I can't compare this to that because this is so heavily modified compared, but oh, the sound of that V8 though, oh, you're never gonna get that out of the 300. Now that the twin turbo V6, you're never gonna get that V8 rumble that you can get out of this, all the 200s. This is now pretty much it for what you're going to get out of it. Sorry, that out of the 300. This is nice. It's big in here. Like I feel like, oh, I can't even actually touch the other side door. The EC off-road dash is really nice actually. Like that digital dash is mint. Obviously, the upgraded steering. There is nothing standard in this car. Seriously, come on. I was meant to be driving the Dynamotive Y62, which is pretty much stock as a rock apart from the Unichip, which would have been a pretty good comparison, but they're doing some pretty special mods for a Y62. I'm not allowed to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but if you own a Y62 and you want to heat more power, just wait. Just wait for that one. That's going to be cool. Alright, almost a green light. Okay. Let me go quietly. Not worried about the mods for lifting stuff. Lifting tyres are all engineered. I don't think the exhaust is completely legal. The interior isn't as nice as the 300. Like, so that full center console dash that goes over and is almost level, that feels super nice inside. Like it just feels like a luxury car, which is exactly what you're buying, I guess. It's nice in that regard. I'm just going to back off a little bit, and I'm coming. It sounds so much more fun. Alright, I missed the V8 already. Considering I'm driving Land bloody Prado around with nothing on it, it's just gutless. Having that V8 sound just rumble underneath you. Oh, hey, God, yeah, that's good. Oh, that bites. Alright, so for something with 35s, that had some go. I'm going to say that's almost the same as what the 200 felt like then. Oh, so the 300. That had, it just, like, I had to hold onto the steering wheel because it just bit and wanted to go. I'm like, whoa, righto, hello, you've woken up. So that's something different. Alright, back at Dynamotive, and I've got both cars here. So the 62, the 300. Damn, they both look good from the front actually. Yeah, they both look tough. Alright, so some of the other things about the 62. So we'll go with some positives and negatives and whatnot. So back seat, obviously this one doesn't have car seats in it, but you can clearly see, like, that's a fist there, 2, 3, like there is a hell of a lot more room in the back seats than what there is in the 300s. Huh, never even noticed that. Obviously all leather inside there, all the bits and bobs, so it's all relatively easy, simple. As I said before, the TIL comes with the power lift up anyway. This is the TI, but still with the power lift up. So like for like on that one there, there's no real difference. Close that again. Mods wise, obviously there's more mods available for a 62 than what there is for 300s, purely because they've been around longer. So that's sort of an advantage in that regard. I don't know what GCM upgrades are available for the 300s yet. I'm sure that they're going to become available, like a 4.5, like this is a 4.5 GVM upgrade now, which is a big thing. By the time you add all the accessories onto a car, it's really not hard to start adding a shite load of weight to your car. It's actually an important thing that you probably need to take into account, and the cost of what's involved with that as well. I know a lot of people give the IRS a bit of a hard time in the back of these things, saying they're no good for towing and all the rest of it. And to some degree they're right. I think you need decent airbags and whatnot, and you need to monitor the back more to make sure you don't scrub out tyres easier. so that's sort of a factor with it. These ones, obviously, to get that big GVM upgrade in the 200s at least, you have to replace the whole rear axle. So you're looking like a 20 grand GVM upgrade, or 25, I think. I heard someone say to me once. So it's big costs involved in that. I think it's close to 10 grand for a 4.5 GVM upgrade plus GCM upgrade to an 8 ton. So that's a big thing, and it's something to think about. Big one, of course, which everyone's going to ask about. Fairly fuel efficient. I think 13 to 14, driving it the way I drive it, versus, well, currently that's sitting on about 22. I think Michael drives a whole lot harder than I do. Speaking to a whole bunch of other people about them, most of them seem to average, going on road tyres here, between 15 and 18. It seems to be the average based on standard tyres, driving it nicely. As soon as you're done with 35s on there, start getting a bit harsh on the pedal, yeah, you're going to see 20s, maybe high 20s. Depends on how you want to drive it and go from there. It's only fuel though. Other big things to consider with that though, 150 grand worth of car. So say you take into a disc, say you can get it for 140. Say for some reason you can get one of these for 140 grand. I don't think it's possible, but we'll, for the sake of video and being nice, we'll call it 140 grand. TIL, top of the range, everything on it, pretty much the same stuff as this, probably not as nicely appointed inside, blah blah blah, a couple of things is missing, I agree. But 94 grand, drive away. I know this because I asked, because I was looking into these cars, so it makes sense why I asked. So that's $46,000 difference. $46,000. That's half a house deposit in some people's words, or some people buy a car for that much. It's a big difference. So, with all of that stuff in mind, I'm dragging this out. I know I am. Sorry, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. All that stuff. The car that I bought is a 62. So I bought a Y62 in a TIL, and it's arriving in November. I'm sorry, please don't hate me. My main factors for deciding on that: room in the rear seats for the kids. I need that room. They're too small in the back of the 300s. There's not enough room for the kids to get in there. The main factor was cost. It's $46,000 difference between the two cars, and the fact that I have young kids, they're gonna crawl all over it, and they're gonna scratch the leather, and they're gonna turn it to shit eventually. I'd rather wreck a $94,000 car than a $140,000 car. That's the two biggest reasons behind it. Third was the fact that these can fit 35s on there legally. They haven't been around long enough to know what you can do with them legally just yet. Most of my stuff is full driving related, so I want to be able to have 35s and a lift and actually use it for what I'm using it for. So that was important to me overall. A lot of you sort of thought that I was going to get into a Ram and all this, and they're awesome. My parents just bought a 3500 Ram. It's going to be amazing, but they're too big for full driving. If I was just towing, awesome, no dramas at all, but I'm actually full driving with it. So, yes, anyway. Hopefully you guys aren't too angry with me, but that's the car. It's in silver. So yes, I think Dash Off-Road always said, he goes, go test drive on, let us know what colour you bought. It's silver. Alright, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week.